Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of First Impressions on the Scratch Track podcast presented by the Dude and Grim Show. I am the Dude.
And I am Grim, and today we are going to give our first impressions of Delta Kream by The Black Keys.
The Black Keys. Not these keys, more probably like piano keys, right?
Yes. Yep, yeah, I'm thinking so.
Yeah.
So pretty much in a lot of sharps and flats, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Well, dude, just doing research on this album right away. Again, this is just our first impressions. The album just came out on Friday. This should be coming out on Monday if all goes well. So we've only listened to the album a couple of times. But doing research on the album, man, they recorded this, they said, in about 10 hours.
Yeah, which I think is awesome.
In 2 days. And they did it, the Black Keys themselves, Dan Auerbach and Patrick Carney. They did it in Nashville with local musicians, Kenny Brown and Eric Deaton, with no advanced rehearsals. And now these guys, are pretty solid musicians. All four of them are.
Well, so, sure. And if you're just, I mean, and not to like belittle anything, but if you're just doing like a bunch of blues songs, the changes are typically pretty easy to follow.
Yeah, especially if everybody knows. It's like, man, let's get in there and let's just kind of put down the tracks. And, one thing that, now, before I get into my overall first impression, let me tell you, when I first heard this album was coming out, and I started doing more research on it, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a bunch of old blues covers. There was a part of me that was a little disappointed.
Oh, me too.
I was hoping for original material, and I was like, no, hey, the Black Keys, they're one of my favorite bands. They crush the blues. I love, most of their albums. Some of their more recent stuff has become, I think for me, maybe a little too polished.
Yeah,
and that's where modernized and poppy a little bit, and that's been somewhat of a turnoff. Even their most recent album, Let's Rock, I've probably only listened to that a couple of times. I thought Turn Blue was okay. I liked Brothers in El Camino. I thought were great, but they do. You're
starting to move in that direction there. Yeah, absolutely.
So what my concern? This is my concern, dude. What my concern is that they were going to kind of take that sound that they've kind of merged into and developed into and apply it to these old blues songs. And they absolutely did not do that here.
Yes, and that's what I really loved. I mean, even from just the first bits of Crawling King Snake, you knew that you were on something different. And I felt like throughout the years, a lot of people like do blues, so to speak. But I think very few people do it justice. And they certainly did, like in their early records. That's not at all what I'm implying.
Thick
but
Freakness and Rubber Factory.
Yeah, and those are both great. But I just, I don't know. I think it's one of those things you can either do really well or become super cheesy. And like, for example, Stevie Ray Vaughan, amazing guitar player. But I listened to the way that Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble did the blues, and I don't like it. It sounds cheese dick. It sounds unoriginal. It does not sound like raw and real. But this does.
Absolutely, 100%. I am in total agreement. I was pleasantly surprised.
Oh, absolutely.
Now the cool thing about it is they cover 5 songs, I think, on this album by Junior Kimbrough, who has been a major influence over Dan Auerbach, both of them. But in the album, was it Chulahoma, the songs to Junior Kimbrough.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. Chulahoma.
First of all, dude, that album that might be my second or third favorite Black Keys album. I think it is considered an album and not an EP. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I don't think there's a whole lot of songs, but
it's about 6 or 7 songs, and the last one is actually Junior Kimbrough's widow, who leaves a voice message and just says, is basically telling them, oh, I appreciate what you guys have done. You made his songs, like the way you've recorded his songs, it sounds so good and everything. And I'm completely, not saying what she said correctly, but
yeah, sure.
Those are the sentiments.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing: in the CD for Chulahoma, it actually, there's an insert and it includes a letter from Dan Auerbach that's written out, and he describes his first encounter with Junior Kimbrough's music and how it inspired him to drop out of college and become a musician.
That's awesome.
It seems to have worked. We're not advising anyone to really do that because we don't want to be held responsible for legal reasons. But it seems to have worked out for him.
At the advice of our lawyers. I would definitely say so. One thing I did want to touch on, I know we talked about this being recorded in Nashville, but I do want to point out that this was recorded at Dan Arbach's studio in Nashville, Easy Eye Sound, which I think he started in Akron initially, and then he moved it down to Nashville and moved down there himself, because I know that for a long time Nashville was thought of just as this hotbed for like country music. But nowadays, I mean, I think Jack White's down there. There's a lot of people who have just gone down there because it's just a hotbed for music.
Yeah. And it's one of the few cities I have not been to, or at least spent a lot of time in.
And I really should go.
Maybe we should go down there and record a couple of Scratch the Track podcast episodes. What do you think about that?
Presented by the Dude and Grim Show. Yeah, I think that would be sweet.
Yeah, I think we should. We're Dude and Grim Show. We're already hitting the road. I'm in Delaware. You're in
Harbor Springs, Michigan.
Yeah. So lots to do. But overall, my first impression of this album is just excellent. The recording, the musicianship, the production of it. One thing I will say, I don't know if it would be a full-on criticism, where I was initially worried that it was going to have they were going to have kind of more of that modern sound. The recordings are super, super clean, I feel like. Now, the instrumentation may be...
But they're still dirty, yeah.
Yes, yeah, the instrumentation is, but the production of it is clean. And I do like a little muddier and dirtier. I just feel like it gives it a little more authenticity.
I hear you.
But
one thing I was going to say, I thought something similar. But I feel like they made it muddy. It's like it's muddy and clean at the same time, like you said. Because one thing I like is you can hear the room. You can hear the room that they're in, and that, you get the sense that everyone was there together and they did this together. And I think that's
pretty much probably playing live together.
Oh, yeah.
Probably most of the songs, you probably put Dan in a booth, though, so he's recording his
I don't even know. They may not have. As long as you have like a mic with a small pattern and he's up to it, he may well have just sung them live. And dude, the bleed is just the bleed, and that's how it is. I mean, that's how it used to be for a lot of people. So
cool. Yeah, and there was one song I know when I was thinking about the production of it. I forget what song it is, but there was definitely. You could just hear it starts off and you can just hear like the amp buzz and everything. And I was like, oh, that's
and you can
cool.
hear him talking. I like one. I think it may have been at the end of Louise, which I really enjoy. And that's one of the ones the only one by Mississippi Fred McDowell, who good friend Leifer got me into in college. And I also like that Crawling King Snake is kind of credited as a John Lee Hooker song.
It is.
I tend to be really partial to him.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that I'm not sure if you are aware of. With the Crawling King Snake, this is actually the Black Keys
cover of the Junior
Kimbrough's version rendition. So it's basically a cover of a cover, which is, we just love that. That's pretty great.
That's like the covers face off squared.
It's like Inception. It's a dream within a dream.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think so far my two favorite tracks are "Stay All Night" and "Going Down South." Those are the ones that really stood out to me. But Coal Black Maddie also really, really rocks. I just feel like this is an album.
Coal Black Maddie is a really good one.
This is an album that you can just kind of put on. And I know we were talking about this offline a little bit. You're planning to pick this up on vinyl, and I think I will too. Now, for those people out there who are vinyl collectors, there's a couple different versions out there. Now, from the research I've done, and I should have picked it up. Again, I was a little skeptical when this album was announced, and I shouldn't have been. And I had a chance to pick up there's a Purple Haze version with purple discs that you were able to get off of the Black Keys website. And I believe that's the only place you're able to get that one, because the other limited edition limited edition versions, it's kind of this smoky gray,
which still sounds pretty awesome.
And dude, it looks badass. So and again though, that's been sold out everywhere that I've seen too. Unless I want to pay $50, I'm not sure I want to do that quite yet. I might just have to settle for the standard black
or the second edition when that comes out.
Or the second edition, yes. So
yeah, it's a bummer that it's. Well, I shouldn't say that because it's a great collection of songs, but it's always nice when you can get something that fits on a single vinyl. This will not at 54 minutes and change, but
still worth.
Oh yeah, because I feel like this is one of those records. One of my favorite records I have is I found it at this record store in New York. In Chelsea, like just randomly, I went in there and I found this record, and it was just this Chicago blues record done from like the 50s and 40s, and it's just a collection of different people, and that's one of my favorite records to put on just because I like the consistency of the sound and the way it is, and I can see this is like, to me, the modern day version of that, even though every song is a Black Keys, like it's something that I would just put on at any time because it's.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel about Chula as well.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I can just kind of have that on, and man, I've listened to that one a lot. And this one to me is right up there. If you like that album, you're going to like this one. I can guarantee you that. So
well, and one thing that we should say is, like you said, initially when you found out it was going to be an album of covers, it seems like it's kind of a turnoff at first, right? And I get that. But if you go back and you look at like Thick Freakness and you look at, I don't know so much about Rubber Factory, but I know with Thick Freakness, several of those songs were covers. They covered Captain Beefheart on that album. I know that one for sure, and they did it. They did an awesome cover. They also covered Junior Kimbrough on that album.
Yeah, well, dude, even if you look at their first album, the Big Come Up? They have covers by R.L. Burnside, Junior Kimbrough, Muddy Waters. They even do She Said by John Lennon, Lennon McCartney. So,
which I think that one was a Lennon.
Yeah,
because that was just like a legal thing. It's always, most people know, they're like, okay, that's clearly
Lennon's song, that's McCartney's song. If they're singing it, they wrote it pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think Lennon wrote like Penny Lane, for example.
Probably that doesn't seem his style. Yeah. No, definitely not. And definitely not The Long and Winding Road. He did not write that. Still,
not to give away a scratch, but holy Christmas.
Yeah.
So
Christmas.
Speaking of giving away a scratch, I'm not going to do that on this one because I haven't listened to it enough. But I really think that this will also be on the list.
Oh yeah, Oh man, there's some other ones I might want to scratch before this one though. So yeah, maybe 2023. 2022, 2023.
Dude, I thought so. When I listened to Do the Romp, which is a Junior Kimbrough one that they do on this album, dude, that's also on the Big Come Up.
Big Come Up.
Yeah, which I think that's cool.
Very cool. So let us know, everyone, your thoughts below, because you're going to give us a like and subscribe and comment below.
Oh, please.
Let us know
Please
what your initial impressions are. Again,
your
this is not
first initial impressions.
Your first initial impressions.
Yeah.
We don't want to rush you.
Yeah, no. That's not the idea
not.
here.
Also, let us know, what you expect from the Black Keys in the future. If you have any favorite albums of theirs, and stay tuned. Either I don't know, Wednesday or the next Wednesday, depending if we can get our stuff together. We will be doing a Black Keys album. So if you're a fan, like, subscribe, and you'll get notified when we drop that album. We drop that scratch.
Oh, all right? And it's gonna drop hard. We're gonna scratch real hard. leaving marks.
Shit.
So I guess with that, it's time to go.
On the Dude and Grim Show.
Scratch Your Track is produced by the Dude and Grim. Additional music provided by More. That's ... MORE in the Tims, TIMNZ. Copyright 2020, The Dude and Grim Show.